Hello and welcome back to the lesson. Today we are going to discuss the subtopic managing the political environment. And this we are going to do so in the context of public sector governance. Managing the political environment is a critical aspect of public administrations because it involves navigating the complex interplay of political forces, including institutions and actors that shape government policy and decision making. So it's very critical for public administrators to understand and adapt to the political landscape to effectively implement policies and also to achieve organizational goals. So in this lesson, we will highlight some of the strategies for managing the political environment, and that includes building relationships, that includes strategic communication, stakeholder engagement, and so on. So candidates, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to discuss the key strategies for managing the political environment in the context of public administration. So we'll highlight the strategies for managing the political environment. And the first strategy is building relationships. One way to manage the political environment is through building of relationships. Building relationships. That means establishing and maintaining a positive relationships with key stakeholders, such as legislators, such as interest groups, the media, the public, community-based organizations, members of the citizens, and so on. That is one way to manage the political environment. And it involves effective communication with the stakeholders. It involves negotiation and also collaboration in order to build and boost trust and support for policies and support for initiatives. The second strategy is through strategic communication. Managing the political environment can be done through strategic communication. That means developing and implementing a comprehensive communication strategy, which is essential to inform and engage the public, which is essential to manage expectations and also to build consensus around policy issues. And that involves utilizing various communication channels such as press releases, utilizing channels such as social media, public hearings, community outreaches, to effectively convey messages and also address concerns. Strategic communication is key. Developing and implementing a comprehensive communication strategy can go a long way in managing the political environment. 3, stakeholder engagement. Stakeholder engagement. That means identifying and also involving relevant stakeholders in policy-making decisions, in policy-making processes, which is crucial for building legitimacy and ensuring that diverse perspectives are consolidated, are also considered. And that can be achieved through consultations, through public hearings, that can be achieved through advisory committees, and also other participatory mechanisms. Because candidates, as I've said, that managing the political environment is critical because it involves navigating the complex interplay of political forces institutions and also actors that shape government policy and that shape also the political landscape. The fourth strategy, political analysis and forecasting. Political analysis and forecasting is a strategy that can be employed by public administrators in managing the political environment. That means staying informed about political trends, being informed about political developments, as well as potential risks. That is essential for proactive decision making. To manage the political environment, one has to have an understanding, one has to be informed, one has to be aware of political trends in the country, political trends worldwide, and also the potential risks that is necessary in order to be proactive in decision making. And that involves monitoring a political discourse. It may involve analyzing public opinion. It may involve anticipating potential challenges to anticipate. Do you understand? Anticipating potential challenges and also mitigating potential threats to policy implementation. Political analysis. One has to be informed. One has to get knowledge, information about what is happening in the political landscape. The fifth strategy is coalition building. Coalition building. Coalition building is another strategy. That is to say, forming partnerships, forming alliances, forming coalitions, and these are coalitions with other political actors who share similar goals and who can who share similar goals that can be effective and who can help the public administrator to manage the political environment. Do you understand? Forming alliances with other actors who share similar goals, that can be an effective way to influence the political environment and also to advance policy agendas. And that requires identifying potential partners. That requires building trust. It may also require negotiating mutually beneficial agreements. Coalition building can help to manage the political environment by public administrators. 6, adaptability and flexibility. The political environment, we know, candidates, is constantly changing, just like any other thing. Nothing remains constant, including the political environment. It keeps on evolving. And public administrators must be adaptable and flexible. And this adaptability and flexibility is required in the approach that is taken by public administrators. And that involves being prepared to adjust strategies. That involves modifying policies. That may also involve responding to changing political realities in order to ensure continued progress towards organizational goals. Adaptability and flexibility. That is a strategy that can help public administrators to manage the political environment, because the political environment is constantly evolving, and therefore public administrators must change with this change that happens in the political environment. The seventh strategy is in relation to ethics, ethical considerations. Ethical considerations. This means maintaining high ethical standards, which is crucial for building trust, which is crucial for building credibility. Public administrators must adhere to ethical principles such as transparency, such as accountability, and impartiality. And that has to happen in all the interactions with political actors and stakeholders. So if one is to maintain or manage the political environment, if a public administrator is to manage the political environment, then such administrators ought to maintain high ethical standards, like being transparent with the stakeholders in the political arena, like accountability, all right, integrity, striving always to be transparent, to be impartial in interactions with political actors and stakeholders. So these are 7 strategies that public administrators can use to manage the political environment. One is building relationships. Number 2, strategic communication. Number 3, stakeholder engagement. 4, political analysis and forecasting. 5, coalition building. 6, adaptability and flexibility. Then lastly, ethical considerations. And candidates, by employing these strategies, by implementing these strategies, public administrators can effectively navigate the political environment. They can build trust. They can build support for their policies, and they can achieve their organizational goals while upholding the public interest. So managing the political environment is an ongoing process. It is an ongoing process to the public administrators that requires continuous monitoring, that requires continuous adaptation, that requires continuous engagement with the stakeholders, because the political environment is always evolving, and therefore monitoring should be continuous. Adaptation should also be continuous. As things change, as the environment changes, these policies should also change. And when that happens, then managing the political environment and meeting the needs of the people may be possible. So that is the end of the lesson, in which we've discussed the factors or the strategies that can be employed in managing the political environment. Now I'm going to read to you today's assignment. Number 1, what are the most effective strategies for government organizations to identify and mitigate potential political risks and threats in rapidly changing environment? 2, how can government organizations leverage public opinion and sentiment analysis to proactively shape the political environment and garner support for their policies and initiatives? 3, what role does stakeholder engagement and collaboration play in managing the political environment, and how can governments effectively build coalitions and partnerships to achieve their objectives? 4, in what ways can technology and data analytics be used or be utilized to enhance the monitoring and management of the political environment, and what ethical considerations should be taken into account when utilizing these tools? Bye.